As the morning sun slowly broke through the thin clouds over the complex of the South Korean Military Training Center, the atmosphere of silence instantly turned into full of emotion and pride. In the midst of the ranks of young soldiers who had endured days of discipline, hard physical training, and no less severe mental tests, a figure had emerged that had been the concern of many people: Cha Eunwoo. With a stern face but still exuding his signature shade, the actor and idol stood tall in front of the troops, presiding over the closing ceremony of the training center. For Eunwoo, this moment was not just a military formality, but an important point in his life that will be remembered forever. The soldiers marching in front of him stared respectfully. They knew that the figure who now stood leading on the podium was not only a famous celebrity, but also a comrade in arms who felt the rigors of barracks life, the cold nights in tents, and the weight of the backpacks they had to carry. Cha Eunwoo, known to the world as a handsome face, talented actor, as well as a successful singer, is now a symbol of dedication and sacrifice. Not a few of them felt motivated by his presence, especially when they saw that even though Eunwoo came from the glittering world of entertainment, he never asked for special treatment. He went through all the training processes equally hard, sometimes even exceeding expectations. The small cheers of the families of the soldiers present in the stands gave a different color in a military atmosphere usually full of rules. The sound of shouting the names of their graduated children, applause, and sobs must be mixed into one. But there was one moment that caught everyone's eye. The moment Cha Eunwoo led the last row through the ceremonial court, marking the end of an intense training period. Each step was heavy but full of confidence, as if he was carrying a message for everyone that courage and togetherness can overcome all obstacles. Many Army, Aroha, and fans from all over the world who have been following this news broadcast since morning through the glass screen and official live streaming. Social media was immediately flooded with keywords: Cha Eunwoo graduation ceremony, Cha Eunwoo military training center, and leader Eunwoo. It didn't take long. Cha Eunwoo's name immediately occupied a global trending topic. The fans were moved to watch how his idol, who had been known for her gentle charm, now appeared gallant in a military uniform, with a look full of authority that left everyone speechless in admiration. A senior officer who also gave a speech at the ceremony did not hesitate to praise Eunwoo. He said that Cha Eunwoo was humble, always listened to instructions, and never showed fatigue despite the heavy training load. There were even several occasions where Eunwoo actually became the main encouragement for his fellow soldiers who were close to surrendering. The story of how he helped one of his colleagues who fell during a night run became a story that was repeatedly told by coaches. He is not only an idol for his fans out there, but also an idol inside this barracks, the officer said proudly. For Cha Eunwoo's family present, this moment was an invaluable pride. Although they had often seen Eunwoo shine on the entertainment stage, this time they saw another side of him that was rarely shown: the determination of a nation child who was ready to serve. His mother's face seemed filled with tears when she saw her son standing in front, leading the last row towards the training graduation gate. There is a sense of relief mixed with emotion, because the child has gone through this difficult phase with honor. Not only family and fans, fellow celebrities also gave great support. Many K-pop stars and actors posted messages on their social media, expressing admiration and pride for Eunwoo's achievements. They know that undergoing military training is not easy, especially for someone who is used to filming and concert schedules. However, Eunwoo proves that he is not only a celebrity, but also a man who is ready for any challenge. The atmosphere of the training ground was even more emotional when the official ceremony was over and the soldiers were welcomed to meet their families. Tears, laughter, and hugs filled the air. However, what caught the most attention was when Eunwoo stepped off the podium and walked up to the soldiers one by one, greeting them sincerely, as if he wanted to make sure that each of his comrades in arms felt appreciated. "We've been through all this together. Never forget this day," he said in a steady voice, which then made many soldiers shed tears. On the other hand, international media also reported this moment. Articles from American, Japanese and European media have highlighted how a global star with millions of fans has been able to maintain humility and emerge as a true leader in the midst of a military situation. Some journalists have even mentioned that this moment will be one of the important histories in Cha Eunwoo's career, as he managed to bridge the entertainment world and the military world in a graceful way. The completion of this military training center is not the end, but the beginning of a new journey. The soldiers, including Eunwoo, will still continue their mandatory military service in their respective units. However, this moment of graduation gives them new energy to face the next tasks. Eunwoo himself, in his short speech, said that he felt grateful for being given the opportunity to learn many things. I learned the meaning of togetherness, the meaning of discipline, and the meaning of putting others before myself. All this I will carry with me all my life, both as a soldier and as a human being, he said. For fans, this moment became a precious memory that will continue to be talked about. Photos of Eunwoo leading the line with authority were widely circulated on the internet, used as wallpaper, posters, and even murals by fan artists in various countries. Some big fan sites even held global digital advertising projects in Times Square, New York, and Shibuya, Tokyo, to celebrate Eunwoo's graduation. This shows how much love and support continues to flow for him, even though he is serving in the military. As the afternoon approached and the sun began to lean to the west, the atmosphere in the training center slowly died down. However, the abandoned spirit remains burning. The soldiers went home with their heads held high, their families went home with their hearts full of pride, and Cha Eunwoo went home with new responsibilities on his shoulders, guarding honor, keeping promises, and keeping the spirit he had built with his comrades in arms. Outside the training center fence, hundreds of fans waited even though they knew they couldn't meet Eunwoo in person. They carry posters, banners, and flowers as a symbol of unquenchable love. Some of them cried with emotion. Some others sang softly ASTRO songs that Eunwoo used to sing. This moment shows that despite being separated by a military fence, the bond of heart between idols and fans remains unshakable. Now, the story of Cha Eunwoo presiding over the completion of the training center will continue to resonate, not just as one day's news, but as an inspiration to many. That behind the sparkling light of the stage, there was a man capable of standing tall in the field of military discipline. That behind a handsome face and a charming smile, there is a strong soul and a heart full of sincerity. And that behind Cha Eunwoo's great name, there is a story of devotion that will always be remembered, both by his fans and by the nation he served. As soon as the news of Cha Eunwoo presiding over the completion of the military training center spread, the entertainment world seemed to tremble. The international media highlighted this event from different points of view. CNN Asia wrote a long article titled "K-pop star Cha Eunwoo stuns U.S. military leader," which describes how an artist who is usually synonymous with the glamorous world is able to transform into an authoritative figure in the military world. Meanwhile, the Korea Times highlighted the emotional side, writing that Eunwoo has managed to inspire not only fans, but also fellow soldiers who might have previously underestimated him. In Japan, news about Eunwoo even made its way into morning shows on national television stations. They played footage as Eunwoo stood on the podium, leading the line with a confident look. The hosts endlessly praised how Eunwoo was able to balance good looks, elegance, and assertiveness in one moment. On Japanese social media, a special hashtag for Eunwoo made it to the top of trending topics for more than 24 hours. On the other hand, in the United States, entertainment journalists have highlighted the possible repercussions after Eunwoo completes his mandatory military service. Some observers think that Eunwoo's career will shine even more because he now has a new image as a tough, authoritative, and dedicated figure. In fact, a Hollywood film producer wrote on his social media account that he was eager to work with Eunwoo after seeing how the figure appeared to lead with extraordinary charisma. He has a stellar aura that radiates not only on the concert stage, but also on the military field, he wrote. Comments also came from fellow Korean artists. BTS's Jin, who was conscripted, sent a short message through the fan community platform, praising Eunwoo as an amazing younger brother. "I know how hard training is. I applaud Eunwoo for going through everything with his head held high, even taking the lead on the closing day. It's not a small thing," Jean wrote. This support, of course, makes Army and Iroha even more moved because they see two big stars respecting each other in the same context. Devotion to the country. In addition to Jean, popular actor Lee Min-ho also wrote support. He said that Eunwoo has set a good example for the younger generation. Being a celebrity doesn't mean being free from responsibility, and Eunwoo is living proof that